One of the most confounding medical stories of all time is the one of Lydia Fairchild. In 2002, Lydia was in a difficult situation. She was pregnant with her third child and was newly separated from her partner, Jamie Townsend, but she was determined to provide for her kids and give them a better life than she had. However, her life took a pretty drastic turn when she applied for government assistance in Washington and was accused of fraud. The state told her she was not biologically related to her own children. At the time, it was standard procedure to provide DNA evidence to prove maternity or paternity. These were the results. Jamie Townsend was confirmed as the father, but according to the DNA test, Lydia Fairchild was not the mother. Lydia knew this was impossible. She had carried all three of her children, given birth to them, and raised them, and she was determined to prove it, because now she was at risk of losing her two children. To make matters worse, the court ordered an observer to be present at the birth of her third child to collect DNA samples immediately. 2 weeks later, those results came back with the same conclusion. Lydia was not the biological mother of her third child either, even with witnesses present who had just watched her give birth. The judge maintained that she must be deceiving the court somehow. This is where most cases would end. But Lydia's lawyer, Alan Tyndall, found something that changed everything. Sometimes the only thing that can solve a bizarre scientific mystery is more science, and that's exactly what happened. Tyndall discovered a case published in the New England Journal of Medicine about Karen Keegan, a woman from Boston who also was not biologically related to her kids. Keegan had a rare genetic condition called chimerism. Most people have one set of DNA that's identical in every cell throughout their body, but chimeras have two distinct sets of DNA. This happens when two fertilized eggs fuse together very early in development, resulting in two distinct sets of DNA in different parts of the body. This study was published in 2002, the same year as Lydia's court case. This study was critical evidence in exonerating Lydia and proving she is also a human chimera. But how did they prove this? Well, court-appointed lab techs took hair, cheek, skin, and blood samples from Lydia, and in all of the above, they only identified one DNA lineage. Then they swabbed Lydia's cervix, and that's where they found it, a second set of DNA that matched all three of her children. When they compared it to Lydia's mother's DNA, it confirmed the grandmother's relationship, and the case against Lydia was dropped. So what happened? In Lydia's case, her children had inherited DNA from both their biological father and Lydia's fraternal twin, who had fused with Lydia back in the womb. Lydia's case became one of the first public accounts of chimerism and sparked important conversations about the limitations of DNA evidence in legal matters.